Esteemed guests, dear friends of the AmCham, I'd like to welcome you all to the 33rd Greek Economic Summit that's taking place today and tomorrow. This annual summit represents for many years a top event of international acclaim that brings together members and stakeholders from the US and Greek government, European Union, the international, domestic, business, financial and academic community, and important organizations and think tanks. GES, as we call it, has turned into a platform for exchange of ideas, feedback, insights and good practices on finance, trade, business, and of course always through the prism and the point of view of geopolitical, social, and developments in the global landscape. Financial and social turbulences as a result of consecutive crises create an environment of increased volatility and insecurity that, in conjunction with the underlying social and financial inequalities, call for bold and radical practices and policies at all levels, both domestically and internationally, if we want to have a satisfying system of governance and social balance. The world around us is changing very quickly, very fast, and we have a set of unpredicted variables such as the war in the European continent, the energy crisis, inflationary pressures, climate change, demographics, and so many other things that may create concern for a dystopic future. One might wonder, is this something accidental, or are we witnessing a wave of important changes that will bring about a brand new reality and define the course of the world in the coming years? This year's summit is entitled Big Bets in Challenging Times, and actually it's an optimistic title. It expresses our desire and the need, especially in this time period, to look forward, to find the courage, to fearlessly look ahead and set goals in a visionary way and a wise way at the same time, in an inclusive way and with no poor balance between the burden and the privileges. So we're invited to investigate the ways that we can set these targets in order to achieve sustainable development while respecting and protecting our natural environment and respecting everyone's right in being different, irrespective of the gender, race, religion, etc., etc. It calls for boldness, for courage, and for virtue in order to be able to take steps back if you have to. However, you have to have a vision and a strategy in order to win this big bet. Last but not least, we have to understand that the world belongs to no one, and we are obliged to bequeath to the following generations a more safe, a more fair environment that calls for policies that go well beyond the established way of thinking and beyond, and of course it calls for going against established perceptions and fixations. So our world is changing quickly, so our country has to lay the foundations and sow the right reflexes for the future. The future will be dominated by technology, by innovation at all levels, and this will affect everything, the way we operate, the way we react and think, and of course another important factor that will dominate will be self-sufficiency in main infrastructure and structures such as energy and defense, safety and primary production. This future, it's a future that countries with a very serious cognitive infrastructure and advanced R&D capabilities will be able to compete. We have a very interesting agenda built for this summit. We have a number of timely and very well-targeted thematic sessions, and of course we will discuss about them with a group of really important and knowledgeable speakers, and I would like to thank them for the participation. I'd like to thank Mr. Kavounidis, Kafatos, Kodopoulos, Kostopoulos, Papazoglou and Psalti, our organizing committee that, together with our president, put together this year's summit. Also, I'd like to thank my colleague, Mrs. Angeliki Dikeulia, for coordinating this event, of course, for her massive contribution in putting together all the events, turning this event into a milestone. Of course, I'd like to thank all the rest of the members of our chamber for the contribution in organizing this event and all other actions by our chamber. I'd like now to make a reference to our summit sponsors and thank them for the support. We have our platinum sponsors, PPC, EY, and OTE. Gold sponsors, Deloitte, Tom Copeluzos Group, Google, Hellenic Energy, Gastrade, and Papastratos. Our silver sponsors, AB, AbbVie, Atradius, Citi, EFA Group, Enterprise Group, Envico, Texan, Hewlett-Packard Enterprises, IBM, IKVIA, Johnson & Johnson, Kyriakidis, Georgiopoulos Law, Lockheed Martin, Microsoft, Mytilineos, Oracle, Potamitis, Vekris Law Firm, Procter & Gamble, Tiresias, Power, Vantage, and Volvo Sarakakis. I would like also to thank our communication sponsors, the Athenian Macedonian News Agency, Nafteboriki TV, and our magazine, Business Partners, along with our online live streaming sponsor, Live Media. Last but not least, I'd like to thank all of you being here physically after a long time or online for your long-term support to all our actions and initiatives. Our chamber celebrates its 90 year of remarkable presence and involvement in all business and financial developments in our country and in the support of our bilateral relations. Please, I'd like to ask all our speakers and coordinators to make note of the time allocated to them, and of course they will be informed if their time is up. I'd like to invite the President of the Chamber, Mr. Nikolaos Bakatselos, for his opening speech. Dear President.